Hey guys, NES Addict here, and today we're going to be doing a response video to my friends over at Retro Gaming Pandemic, Eric and Jared. All that and more next. Alright guys, so I've been challenged by my friends Eric and Jared over at Retro Gaming Pandemic to put together a top 10 all-time favorite video games list. And let me tell you, that was a challenge. But let's go for it. Alright, I know I'm the NES Addict, but I tried to diversify a little bit. So coming up at number 10, Ninja Gaiden on the Xbox. So what's so cool about Ninja Gaiden is I got this for my 23rd birthday, 17 years ago. It still has the receipt inside to prove it. It's super faded, but if you look closely, you can see 7/9/2004. So I got my Xbox for my 22nd birthday, and on my 23rd birthday, I got Ninja Gaiden. And this game blew my mind. There was so much awesome stuff in this game. I loved the whole storyline. I thought Ryu Hayabusa was a total badass. I loved his sword. I loved all the flips and all the running off walls you could do. I thought it was so awesome. I just loved this game so much. I got completely engaged in the story. I remember one time I even killed bats in this hallway for like 12 to 15 hours just to power up enough to get the wooden sword. It was maddening, but I did it. And the boss fights on this game were so fun. I remember specifically this one boss fight, and it's actually pictured on the back of this, where you fight like the skeleton of some dragon. It was so awesome. I loved it so much, and I can't wait to actually pop this back in the old Xbox and give it another try. The other really cool thing about this is if you beat the game, I'm pretty sure you unlock the 3 original Ninja Gaidens on the NES. I briefly remember doing that and playing those, but at that point, I wasn't the NES Addict, and I didn't appreciate it the way I do today. And for all of those reasons is why Ninja Gaiden is number 10 on my list.
Ah, the dragon sword. So your father is still in the sacred wilderness.
Yes. He has entrusted me with the sword while he continues his training. He never seems satisfied with the power he wields.
Number 8, Metroid Dread. So I actually recently just got Metroid Dread. I mean, as you guys all know, it's a brand new game. I got it for myself for Christmas, and I have been super enthralled with this game. I love it. I love fighting the Emmys. Man, I get so creeped out when I hear that specific music where they're creeping around. And you know, you have to like melt their face off and blast their head off. Metroid Dread gives me what I would imagine a lot of people felt when they played Super Metroid for the first time.
Before Nintendo came out with Super Metroid, we wanted to make sure it was the most intense Metroid battle ever. So we thought we'd see how Killer here would fare against it. Ready, boys? That's 24 megs worth of weapons, worlds, and weirdos old Killer's up against. Nintendo's biggest game ever. He's a big boy. He can handle it. Well, let's see how he did. Ship it! Super Metroid, only on the Super NES.
You know, it just has like this really awesome, I don't even know how to describe it, but it just makes me feel like that's probably how people felt when they played Super Metroid. I love the music in this game. It's definitely a throwback to the old Metroid games. And I haven't beat it yet, but I'm working on it. But I love Samus. I love all of the lore that goes on with Metroid. And that is why Metroid Dread has made it to number 9 on my list. Alright, the next game I do not actually have physical representation of. I wish I would have bought this from Limited Run Games. But it is The Messenger. The Messenger is a Ninja Gaiden-esque platforming action-adventure game that kind of splits between 8 and 16-bit. I think what I love so much about The Messenger is it really reminds me of Ninja Gaiden, but kind of adds to it some. I definitely like the first half of the game better than the second half. For whatever reason, I don't love the backtracking. I just got confused. And it took me a really long time to beat this game. I actually just beat it in 2021, and I've had the game for like 2 or 3 years. It was very fun. I really enjoyed it. I love the cloud jumping. I love all the abilities. I need 3 more power seals that I cannot figure out how to go back and get because they're in like the Arc of Time or whatever it's called. But The Messenger, a very fun game. I love the graphics. I love the story. I love that it's on the Switch. And yeah, that is why The Messenger is number 8 on my list. Number 7. Once again, sadly, I do not have physical representation of this game because I think I traded it a while back. But for me, number 7 is BIOSHOCK. So BIOSHOCK is this very interesting game where basically like this dude, whose name I can't remember, built this civilization under the ocean to get away from all of the crap that was going on, you know, on the mainland. I kind of would like to do that today, actually, and get away from Brandon. So you take control of this dude who finds his way down in the ocean, and he starts getting these powers by injecting himself with this stuff called Adam. And you go around the game, and you're basically choosing to save these little sisters.
Look, Mr. Bubbles, it's an angel. I can see light coming from his belly. Wait a minute, he's still breathing. It's all right. I know he'll be an angel soon.
I can't remember exactly what their reason is in the game. You can either choose to save them or harvest them. I'm a nice guy, so I saved all the little sisters. And they all surrounded me at my deathbed. This game has some weird twist in it.
Careful now. Would you kindly lower that weapon for a minute?
It has some very strange music. And some strange art.
The small, and with the sweat of your brow.
It goes back to like, I don't know, the 30s, 40s, something like that, where these people are all wearing these creepy masks. They're all kind of mutated from the atom they've been injecting into themselves to like evolve, I guess. It's a very weird game. There's some super creepy Big Daddy monsters that look like dudes in old 30s and 40s diving gear. It's a very interesting game. There's a lot of twist. It's just one of those games that you have a hard time forgetting after you've played it. And that's exactly why BIOSHOCK made it to number 7 on my list. Number 6, Batman Arkham Asylum. So the first thing I want to say about this game is thank God they got Mark Hamill to voice the Joker, because that just makes it.
The joke's on you. Ta-da! Honey, I'm home.
The other thing that I love about this game is the combat system. When you're Batman and you're fighting those enemies and you're bashing their skulls in, you really do feel like you're like just kicking the world's ass. It is so awesome the way they made this game. I love the storyline. I love the puzzle elements. I love all the detective mode stuff. It's just a very engaging game. And from the beginning, even as the credits are rolling, you can kind of control Batman, even as you're walking in to Arkham Asylum, just kind of following the Joker to see what happens. This game is truly amazing. I love Arkham City as well. It almost made number 6, but I chose the original. Batman is amazing. I love Batman. He's probably my favorite superhero. And that's why this is number 6 on my list. Number 5. Halo Reach. Man, what can I say about the Halo games? I loved Halo 1. Halo 2 changed the game. Halo 3 expanded upon it. But man, Halo Reach, with all the abilities, especially the jetpack, man, it was so fun to fly. That really, really won me over. I always buy Halo games for the multiplayer. I always play the campaign, but for me, Halo is best when you're playing online. I want to play this game again soon because it's been a while, but that is exactly why Halo Reach is number 5 on my list. Number 4, the game that made me sell my NES. Super Mario World. Man, what's to say about Super Mario World that hasn't been said like a trillion times? You guys know how great this game is, but I think what blew my mind was when you jumped on Yoshi for the first time and took control of that dinosaur. That just seemed so incredible to me. The music was great. The level design was great. I love that you were like this dinosaur kingdom. I always really enjoyed how all the worlds were named after like sugary sweet stuff, like Donut Land and whatever they're called. I can't remember. You know another thing that's interesting about this to me? For whatever reason, this font, this Super Mario World font with the different color letters, it's a very simple design. There's Mario with his cape and Yoshi, and he's just swooshing across this blue background. Whatever it was about this design, I remember opening this up on the way home from Toys R Us when my dad bought this for me in 1992. Like November 22nd or 1st of 1992 is when I got this. And I just remember looking at this game the whole way home and just thinking about how amazing it was going to be to play it. The first time I ever played it was at my friend TJ's house for his birthday in September. And I had to wait all the way till November. I sold skateboards. I sold my NES. I sold everything I had to save up enough money. And my dad finally one Saturday said, "Jay, how much money have you saved up?" And I had like 80 bucks. He's like, "Let's go ahead and get it." And I think it was like $129.99 or $139.99 to get the Super Nintendo. But I tell you, on the way there, I was conflicted. Do I get the Genesis? Do I get the Super Nintendo? I wasn't still sure which one I was going to pick because Sonic, all the marketing for the Sonic game really had me thinking, am I going to regret missing out on Sonic the Hedgehog? But when I got to Toys R Us, I knew that if I did not come home with Super Mario World, no matter how great Sonic was, I was going to be disappointed. And for all those reasons, that is why Super Mario World is number 4 on my list. Number 3, finally an NES game, Batman. So, I actually owned this game as a kid, and man, I wish I would have appreciated it the way I do now. This game is amazing. The other cool thing about this game is it's in mass quantity, so it's still not that expensive. If you've never played Batman on the NES, what are you doing with your life? This game is great. I love the challenge of this game. I love the atmosphere. I love Batman. I love the cutscenes. It's kind of like Ninja Gaiden in that way. The wall jump is amazing. The combat is amazing. Everything about this game is so good. And if you don't know this story about Batman, the NES game, I gotta tell you. Several years ago, my mind just took me back to this game, and I thought to myself, you know, I never beat Batman as a kid, and that's what got me back into video games. Back into retro video games, might I add. This game right here, if it wasn't for Batman, NES Addict would not even be a thing. And that is why this game is number 3 on my list. Number 2, Castlevania. So, what I want to say about Castlevania is my friend Todd, Creepy Todd, you might know him. Todd wasn't sure that I would like this game, but he showed it to me, and I remember playing it at his house for the first time ever, and just like the graphics, the style, something about this game just totally captivated me, and I felt like I completely missed out on this game as a child. I never played this when I was a kid, and I felt so robbed. And because I felt so robbed of this game, I played it incessantly, and I got very good at it. I'm actually really good at Castlevania. I'm not perfect at it. I'm not Megadan 29 perfect, but I'm pretty dang good. Castlevania. This is the only game that could one-up Batman in my opinion. And I love this game. And that's why it's number 2 on my list. The last and final game on my list, number 1, is a game that I actually almost wrote off because I didn't like it when I first played it. And that game is Super Castlevania. I know you're saying, Jay, how could you not like Super Castlevania? You love Castlevania. I was so obsessed with the original that when I played this one, I was like, it's Castlevania, and it's like an updated version, but it didn't feel the same. I remember telling Todd, I don't like the music to this game, and he's like, what? Which is funny, because now it's like my favorite soundtrack of all time. I listen to it in my car. I don't know what it was. It was not the original, and I think I just wanted more of the exact original. I didn't realize how much it expanded upon it. I appreciate this game so much more now. I can't even believe at any point in time I didn't like this game. But Super Castlevania, I mean, it takes everything that Castlevania is and makes it super. It really did, like, improve upon everything. The whip direction, the jumping control, the graphics, the sound, the atmosphere. Super Castlevania, in my opinion, is a perfect game. I love this game so much, and I've played it probably more than any other Super Nintendo game at this point in my life. But now, Super Castlevania 4, my #1 game of all time. Alright guys, well that is my list. I am so curious if any of this stuff surprised you. I am an Xbox fanboy. I love Xbox and Xbox 360. Now, Xbox One, I haven't really got into that, and Xbox One X, whatever. It's a refrigerator for all I care. But these are the games that kind of really stood out in my mind when looking back into the past. If I had to give one honorable mention, it would be Echo the Dolphin on the Sega Game Gear. I beat that game in like 2 or 3 days. I was obsessed with it when I was a kid. I loved my Game Gear, and it was one of the few games I had. But Echo the Dolphin on the Game Gear really stood out. And in my opinion, the control for that game on the Game Gear is way better than the Genesis. So, give it a try. But guys, that is my list. Go check out my buddies Eric and Jared at Retro Gaming Pandemic. They're these two twins. They're great. I love them. I met them at Southeast Game Exchange. They're like brothers to me now. You know, that's just the way we roll. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, take your Castlevania whip and smash that subscribe button. And if you want to leave me your list, leave me your list. And if you want to make a video, open tag. Go for it. Make a video. And as always, just remember, just because I'm the NES Addict, it doesn't mean you can't be an NES Addict too. Thanks for watching. And as always, I want to take a special moment to thank all my Patreons. Mark Bozak, Retro Reminiscence, Nintendo, David Apuzzo, Retro Rick, Ernesto Anaya, how are you doing, honey? Megadan29, Generation Gap Gaming, Philip Kelly, Alex Perez, and JLove81. Thank you guys so much.